Thanks for joining me on another video. Today we're going to take on another project. We mentioned it in the last video that we're going to replace the tailgate on my Gladiator. The rooftop tent trailer that we take out got loose when we first bought it and put a hole through the tailgate. And then the boat got loose the other day and put a pretty big dent in the tailgate. So the tailgate's pretty well ruined. We bought a second tailgate, had it painted white. And now we're going to take all the parts and components and transfer it to the new tailgate and put the new tailgate on the Gladiator. All right, first thing we're going to do is remove the tailgate from the Gladiator. By doing that, we can put it on the workbench and switch the components and then put the new tailgate on. We have to take the keeper plate off. So there's a plate that keeps the tailgate attached to the actual Gladiator. So we need to remove this plate here. This is a T40, and we're going to go ahead and take this bolt off. All right, we're just going to set that aside because we'll use that when we put the new tailgate on. For the next step, what we're going to do is remove these cables. We're going to take it off of the Gladiator tailgate. So these will stay in place, but then we'll reattach them onto the new tailgate when we get it in place. Plate here that we have to take off to remove the camera and tail light. So what we'll do is push in with this plastic here, kind of start getting it worked out, and then lift the tailgate up and setting that down. There's a couple more connections here that we have to take off. One. There's two. All right. So if you pivot the tailgate to about a 45 degrees, you'll see in here, you'll see where this bracket, this retainer rod piece lines up with the opening. And then we'll be able to lift up, paint it in there. Whew. This will be the first time from factory this has been off, so. For our next steps, what we're going to have to do is take these plates off to get access to taking the components out of the tailgate so we can move it over to the new tailgate. So we'll go ahead and remove these panels here. This is a T30. All right, so these are not torqued on, so we're going to go ahead and use the driver to remove them, speed up the process. Here's our new carcass for the tailgate that we'll be moving the components over into. So we have one bolt left holding the latching lockdown device. So we're going to just take this other bolt out here, and then that component should come right out. And now that just disengaged the locking mechanism. And we'll do the same on the other side. There's a smaller bolt, which I believe is a T30 head. We'll go ahead and take that out. two nuts that we'll have to get. I have a 10 millimeter socket, we're going to take 2 nuts off here that are holding this handle in place, hopefully. All right, so to get this mechanism out, we're going to have to remove these rods that are attaching the locking mechanisms to get underneath there, and just gently pry up. And they pop right off. All right, so we have these rubber holders for the electrical that need to just come out like the other one. I'm just gonna work their ways out of the hole. That is undercoating. One in the inside like that. So there's a little tab in here you have to push down to start to get the camera to remove. So after that bracket's taken out, you can push down on this tab right here. And as you push down, push out, and just kind of work your camera, and it comes right out. All right, there's a keeper tab here attached to the tailgate that just pries out. And then gently just work your connector plate down through the hole, which will start working it out of the tailgate. All right, so to remove the camera from the wire so you can work it around, there's a little keeper tab right here. I took the pliers the first time. Let's see if we can do it by hand. If you push down, squeeze in, the camera will pull right out, and there's your little backup camera. All right, so now that we undid those bolts in the inside, this lever is starting to come out. It's working its way out here. We got to figure out where it's attached still. All right, so we have attachment to this piece from here, so we have to work on getting this detached. All right, there we go. If you just stick your screwdriver in, give it a little twist, it brings that keeper out, and you'll be able to remove that rod from this that detaches the 2 pieces. All right, if we go to the front, it's almost falling out now. And then all we need to do is squeeze that electrical connection, which is the 3rd tail light, and it pops right off. So now we have another piece that's detached from the tailgate. So now let's take a look at this inside attachment for the release. I believe we just need to work it out. It's detached from all the mechanical attachments. Here's your electric lock. So when you lock your doors, it locks this tailgate up. So we'll just, again, get this electrical connection removed. So electrical connection is a push down tab on the tail end. As we push down, this front little shoe comes off the keeper and it slides right out. Another piece is off. Spin this around. I think we got one more keeper with the electrical harness in here. We're gonna kind of work our way around, and it's right here in the top. And it's just another mushroom push down. Our tool, see if we can pry it out gently. Oh, well, it broke, but That tends to happen. All right. Almost free. One more keeper. Feels like it's in the top inside here. All right. So this is right down on the inside cavity here. And we're just going to gently pull up on that mushroom tab. It looks like the electrical harness is now, appears to be free. So here's our electrical harness for the tailgate. We'll set it aside and have to reattach it to the new tailgate. And the last piece is our second latch that'll go on this side of the tailgate. So otherwise, I believe the carcass is empty now. So we're halfway done. Let's put the components in and see if we can get this put back together. I think it's start where we're coming from. Kudos to the people on the assembly line that do this all day long. Place our latches in place. All right, so one of the first things we want to do on the new tailgate carcass is put the wiring harness in. So we're going to feed the wiring harness in through the bottom port into the carcass. And this will attach to the Gladiator section. Now we have to figure out the wiring. So we know this goes to the camera. And this is the tailgate. And this will be the lock. All right, so while we're here, let's go ahead and put the camera back in place. We'll rotate the carcass up. And remember, this is upside down, so we want the wide part downward. And we're just going to gently feed this in here and let it snap in place. I got that figured out. All right. On the inside here, we're going to take this attachment, which is the camera cable, and we're just going to gently slide that onto lock that onto place there. And while we're here again, let's rotate it upside down again. So remember to put your handle in upside down. And we're going to work this into place. Just going to take some maneuvering. Throw it hung up on. Thank you. There it is. We're hung up on this rod right here. So what we need to do when we work that in, we ensure that rod is going through that hole, not behind it. There, it fell into place finally. All right, we have the handle attached component in. We're gonna lay it back down on its face. While we have that there, we're going to find our tail brake light. Find top with the little barb and attach that right in there. So do is we'll just go ahead and attach this wiring harness into the carcass. That will hold our wire there. And we'll put our second mechanism in. So the back side of the door opener, we'll need to work that into place and figure out how it goes. All right, first thing kind of want to take care of is wiring the electrical. So put that in place. We will try to maneuver this gently in place and figure out how it all goes together. We made a little mistake, I think. Well, maybe not. Shoot out. Attachment. And all right, got them on the bolts. Let's go ahead and attach the back side of the door handle, the latch, and we're going to start with our nuts and kind of just figure tight nose down. Our second one right in place. And then lastly, we're going to put our T-bolt in place here. Snug. We'll go ahead, snug up our nuts. Put our linkage in place. So we're going to put our linkage in place. We're going to drop the pin into this hole here. Make sure that our lock is pushed back. Push this down and then just snap that forward so it locks in place. All right, while we're here, we're going to put our attachment onto our camera. Make sure it stays in place. I'm sure just need to figure out how that goes in place here. There we go, and just slides and locks your camera on so you don't lose it going down the trail. We're going to put our latches in place. We'll start this bolt. Place, and we'll go to the other one and do the same thing. Lastly, we're going to do is last steps here. We're going to reattach the rods by pushing them in place right here, and then we're going to work on really just securing our wiring back into where it came from on the Gladiator. Let's see. Okay, 45, and we're going to work on getting that cup wind to that 45. All right. See if I can get the cable stop put in, at least a little so it doesn't bang the door, freshly painted door against the bumper. Want your keeper tab. I can feel a little bit of paint in the threads, but it'll work its way out. So to get this bolt in here, we're going to take the impact driver. We got a T45 bit in there. Tighten it up, and that works through the paint that's in the threads. So we'll do that the same on the other side. Jump in here and get the wiring reattached to the plate and put the plate in place. So, there we go. Put in 2 and put the plate back in place here, hopefully. Final test before we button everything up is that we've got the remote and we've got to see if the actuator works on the lock mechanism. Make sure our wiring's in place correctly. So if you want to come over here and watch the actuator, we'll see if this remote works. And look at that. Ooh. We're back in business. Let's get our plates back in place. We'll have a mixed black and white till we maybe find a place to get it bed linered. Go ahead and take a driver. Just snug them up. Let's see if it shuts. All right. Just goes on. It's guide holes on each end, and I think it just beautifully snaps in place. That looks nice. All right, well, I appreciate you joining me for this video. I hope you got some information out of it. If you're tackling a tailgate, have any questions, please post them in the comments. I'd be happy to help out from what I've experienced and know. But until next time, get out there and explore, create, and do good. Bye, guys.